It's time for Push2Plat, your weekly trophy podcast with Mindi and CJ.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to another wonderful week. Push2Plat, episode 36, The Tale of Two Headphones. How are you, Mindi?
Well, yeah, headphone drama today, but otherwise I'm pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. And listeners, we have a wonderful guest, a special guest. An extremely special guest, I suppose you could say, joining us today, a long-time listener. I hope I'm correct in saying that, although he did warn me he may have only started playing PlayStation yesterday. So hopefully he really is a long-time listener, but I'm sure we'll find out. Mr. Zadorvp, how are you today, sir?
Hello, I'm doing fine.
Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us. Am I right in thinking you've been with us for a fair while now on this voyage?
Yeah, I've listened to all of the episodes.
Oh, look, I apologize. And look, listeners, if you don't know, Zador is like a great fact checker for us. He lets us know each week how many things we sort of erred in, or maybe we're not quite right on, Mindi. Isn't that correct?
I mean, that's not all he does, but yes, he is kind enough to say.
No.
I played some Man of Medan with Zador, and after we did our deep dive, we were talking. He's like, I just didn't write down the things that you were wrong.
Well, look, listeners, we should be honest at this point, Mindi. It's a little bit dirty in a way, isn't it, really? We both played Man of Medan with Zador. Did you know that, or?
I did know that, yeah.
Yes, and which was a great experience because he's very, very knowledgeable on the game. But one of the things that I liked is after you two had played it, he let me know that there was a scene in the game, Mindi. I don't know if you remember. It was to unlock. Is it one of the trait trophies? There were different trait for each of the characters, which I'm still not sure how it totally works there, listeners. But one of them where it was now I'll get the names wrong here, Zador, but perhaps you can correct me. Where they I think it was Brad, but look, I'm not sure. And they and the Fliss, and they're trapped. One of them gets trapped under this sort of gate, if you like, and the water's coming up and she's drowning, and you have to. There's a combination of hitting the lock or the hinges or all this. You know, obviously, listeners, I got flustered. It was a big moment. You know, there was a lot happening in that 10 seconds, and I stuffed it up. I think at the time I pretended to Zador that it was a connection issue, but you know, in honesty, I was the connection issue. But he did remind me, Mindi, that you managed to get that right when you played with him, but I didn't. I'm not sure if you remember that.
Because I'm better than you.
Well, that's right. Ironically, I still don't have that trophy, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But look, you know, we should ask Zador, what did you think of Man of Medan?
Well, I really liked it. I mean, it was fine. Yeah.
Did you like Man of Medan or Until Dawn better?
Well, Until Dawn, obviously. It's a better game. It's a better game.
But I think you've played all of the because you have a VR, so I know you've played Hidden Agenda and the Inpatient. Have you played Bravo Team?
No, I haven't.
So then out of those four, would you say Until Dawn, can you rank them for us?
Well, Until Dawn, then Man of Medan, probably Inpatient and Hidden Agenda.
Yeah, I just played Hidden Agenda with a friend of mine, a friend that I had played Man of Medan with. And I said, well, they did another game like this, and it's called Hidden Agenda, and it's not as good. I played it with him last night, and we had a lot of fun, mostly because we were making fun of it.
I like that. So look, before we get any further, Zador, could you tell us a little bit about your gaming history?
Well, as you said in the intro, I only just started playing yesterday. That's definitely true. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very impressive profile you have for one day.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you must be a team account, because for playing yesterday, starting yesterday, you have 436 platinums. So that's quite impressive for a 24-hour team account that you clearly are.
We Finnish people, we don't have anything to do, so lots of people wanted to help, And that's how we got that in one day.
It's the whole Finnish population, Mindy.
Yeah.
It's their one gaming day of the year.
Yeah, and never again.
I like it.
Zador, is it Finland where the country's official Twitter profile is run by just random citizens, and you switch off every couple of weeks? Or is that a different country?
I don't
Is
know.
that true? That's
I don't
fantastic.
really do Twitter stuff, so
Well, I mean, isn't the American Twitter basically run by one person?
one child.
I mean, he's
yeah.
very busy though, isn't he? So-
I mean, I won't get into politics.
No.
It makes me angry.
How's that war going in Colorado, by the way? But anyway, look, let's move on. So Zador, no, let's jokes aside. Please let our listeners know about your gaming history.
Well, my first console was probably a Sega Master System. You know, that thing that released at the end of the 80s. Then I played PC, Game Boy Advance, PlayStation, then the first Xbox, but none of the other Xboxes. And then since then I've played basically PlayStation 2, 3, 4, and Switch. And Vita, I guess.
So why did you jump from Xbox to PS2 instead of the 360?
Well, because I didn't like Xbox that much. None of the games were interesting enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, CJ.
That's okay. That's okay.
What kind of games were you playing on in the early days on the Master System and PC?
Well, I don't really remember a lot of the games. We had a Bank Panic, I think, something like that. Alex Kidd. You know, it would be easier if I had any of the what are those called? Those things? They're not discs. They're whatever they are.
Oh, cartridges.
Cartridges. Yeah, those. I don't have any of them here, so I can't name check.
But now you play a lot of JRPGs, and this is not going to be another JRPG podcast. But you do play a lot of those.
Yeah, it's not. I believe. Well, I mean, I was told we're only gonna talk about Pokemon today.
CJ, this is actually I've snuck in our Mega Man guy. So sorry.
I tell you what, Zador, you're by all means you can talk about Pokemon as long as you like. Look, I'll come back in about 90 minutes. Will that be enough time for you?
90 minutes? Double that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zador, do you like Mega Man?
Well, to be honest, I've only played Mega Man X on PC, so no.
I mean, that's a good Mega Man game. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're damn right it's good.
Yeah, I've looked at the older ones, you know, screenshots and stuff. They look fun too, but I don't really want to get them anyway.
Yeah.
How about Metroidvanias?
Well, I've played a couple of Metroidvania games, but not Metroid itself. I've played Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, the Swapper, Tesla Crowd.
Oh god, that was a
Apotheon.
Metroidvania.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that game.
The Swapper.
No, but the Arkham Origins Blackgate, the Vita one, right?
Yeah, but most people probably want to forget about that anyway. So
Is it that bad?
Well, I liked it, but most people probably didn't. At least that's what I've heard. So I don't know.
Okay, interesting. Now, one of the great things about doing this podcast is we get to talk to people from all around the world. You're our first Finn, so and Finland is
and
one of the
hopefully last.
Fair enough. Put out the warning now. I haven't been to Finland. Can you tell us what is it like, if you don't mind? What's it like to live there? What do you like about it? Or is it great?
It's cold.
Yes,
it's cold. Yeah, and boring. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I don't think I need this anymore.
No. Okay, so look, I want to ask, because, you have these long winters and stuff. We don't get this in Australia. Yeah. It's very temperate here, very mild. And I've always thought that because you're physically having to be indoors more, it would just open up so much more time to game and stuff like that. Is that true? Or is there just still other stuff you have to do? So it still fills up all that indoor time that you have in these long winters?
Well, I have to work, so...
Yeah,
that takes some time.
Yeah, do you see what I'm driving at, Mindy? Like for you as well, it's still quite temperate, isn't it, where you are? So like, you can still go out in winter. It's not like you're sort of, house locked, if you like.
Well, you say that, but I live in the Midwest, and for people who live in the Midwest, that you get crazy ass winter weather, and
Oh, okay.
it's very questionable. You could literally have, there's snow on the ground, but it's 40 degrees, and you can be outside, and then the next day it's like sub-zero because climate change is not a thing. So
No, that's right. That's right. The war will keep that out. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Well, speaking of Finland, though, I'm gonna bring up Conan O'Brien because there's an entire episode. I don't know, Zadorvp, if you know this. There's an entire episode of Conan O'Brien who he went to Finland solely because
Yeah.
a bunch of people from Finland wrote to him and said, "Hey, you look like our president," and I'm gonna get this name wrong. Tarja Halonen?
Tarja Halonen.
Yes, thank you. Who's a redheaded president from 2000 to 2012. Oh, and also a woman.
So Conan looks like a woman.
Yeah.
Is that...
There you go. CJ's caught up now. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have a look at the picture now. The two pictures.
So a bunch of Finnish people wrote him and said, "Hey, you look like our president." And so he Finland and actually met with the president of Finland, and they talked about the fact that they look alike.
And they do look alike. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I could see some resemblance there. Yeah.
Yeah, slight resemblance.
Light resemblance. Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
And Zadar, before I forget, before CJ moves on, before I forget, our new segment, explain your PSN name.
Well, Zadar is a role-playing character that I created years ago. So that's where the first part comes from. And then VP, those are my name initials, because I have a hyphenated first name. So V is for the first part, and then P is for the second part. That's it.
Ah, interesting.
No, it's not.
When you say role-playing game, are you referring to like Dungeons and Dragons, like tabletop role-playing?
No, I'm referring to like a forum role-playing thing, a text-written thing that people post what their characters do, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, that actually opens the door, well, loosely, I suppose, to this week's question. So I'll throw this out to both you, Zeta and Mindi here. It comes from our wonderful question provider, Boston 10 George. Thank you, sir. It's fantastic to see you've moved on from the Pokemon. And this week we've got a question here about what class of character would you choose to play in an RPG? So, Zador, should we start with you? What do you like to play as? What would you choose?
Mage, wizard, whatever that uses magic. That one.
Okay. Why?
Because I like magic.
That's a good answer. Yeah. Mindi, what about yourself?
Okay, so you know me and my overthinking. Is this a Dungeons and Dragons Western RPG? Is this a JRPG? Because there's a whole bunch of specialized classes in JRPGs, and more generalized in the RPGs. If it's like a Western RPG, I'd go with either a mage or like a thief or assassin or that kind of group of classes. You're talking about if I like in real life, if I'm in an RPG, right? Not like if I'm just going to play an RPG, this is the character I would choose.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Because if it was a game, I'd be whatever your tank character is, because then other people will do the game for me, and all I have to do is sit there and take damage.
Doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, well, and then if it was a JRPG. Now I'd want to look more towards like beast masters, like red mages, like the mages that dabble in both white and black magic. I would say summoner, but that's kind of the beast master thing again. Something in there. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. I was wondering that too, like what type of RPG. So I suppose because it's compulsory for me to drop it in somewhere, Zeta, or the Final Fantasy 14, which is technically an MMO, not an RPG, but it's the same thing roughly. And you mentioned roughly. And you mentioned Mindi tank, so I played a tank in that game, and I really enjoyed that role because I think tank is like the second most important role because like the DPS, it doesn't matter, anyone can do that. The tank, as Mindi said, is standing up there taking the damage or whatever else. But if you're a bad tank, you can still win. Like, it's difficult, but you could still win. But if you're a bad mage, you have no chance. So like the mage is the toughest character, I think, to play. And I've always thought that maybe in any RPG, as like any party based RPG, like mage has got a lot of responsibility with the healing and the magic and all this stuff. So it's, I don't know, like there's a little bit too much pressure for me, perhaps. Whereas the tank character, you can have a bit of a go. As Mindi said, you do stand in one spot. You're supposed to take the aggro or whatever. But if things get too much, the mage will bail you out. So I suppose that's the character that I tend to play. But then sort of I started playing the Outer Worlds properly last night. So properly means an hour, listeners. And I spent quite a long time in the character creator. And it's very elaborate, Mindi. It's do you know like these old school RPGs where you'd have points? So like charisma points and intelligence points and all this sort of stuff?
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of them, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I find those very intimidating because there's a lot, like there's 3 pages of different options you can put your points into, and like they all explain what they do, but you only have so many points, and because these things always are at the beginning of the game, so you haven't like, in some ways I think it'd be cool if you could play like 3 hours of the game with just a generic character, and then you get a feel for it, and then you're like, okay, so now I know what I want to be, and I know you could restart it, but who's going to do that, listeners? So anyway, you got to make these blind choices basically before you've even started the game. And so I was thinking about it, and I always tend to put more points into like an intelligence build, maybe to compensate for myself, I suppose, Mindi and Zeta, an intelligence build. But then also I try and divide it evenly between like the meathead approach as well. So very strong in like physical and brawling combat. So I suppose I'm not sure what character that is, an intelligent brawler. I don't know that such a thing exists, but that's loosely what I'm playing. And listeners, if you've started the Outer Worlds, I would be fascinated to hear what sort of build you've gone with, because you can really customize it in there. And Mindi and Zeta, I know neither of you have played it yet, but it actually tells you, like, so when you put the points into something, it sort of congratulates you, or it's like, oh, are you sure you want to do that? So it just adds a whole nother element of like decisions, if you like, to it, which just slows the process down. But, I don't know. So in a roundabout way, I suppose that's the character that I like. Half sort of intelligent, half, physical barroom sort of fist fighter in an RPG. A bit dirty, but also a bit clean. Yeah, I think that's what I like. Yeah. So, seeing we've already started on the games, why don't we throw across to Zadorvp and have a look, sir, at what you've been playing this week?
Well, I've played. I finished all of the DLC for Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Nice.
Because I had left all of that undone, and then I moved on to play God of War, the new one, and then Strange Brigade, which was on Halloween sale.
Okay, so there's a few things we're going to get into here, but let's start with Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, of course, there's the 2 main expansions there. Which one did you prefer?
The Atlantis one.
I think, were you much the same, Mindi? I know I was.
Yeah, I much preferred the Atlantis one. What is it, Hidden Blade, First Blade?
Legacy of the First Blade.
Yes, thank you. It was just more kind of samey. I like the Assassin's Creed DLCs that do something different. Remember the DLC for Assassin's Creed 3 was, what if George Washington got the Apple of Eden?
Yeah.
And turned evil? And as a result of that, you can turn into animals. Like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's different, Yeah. Legacy of the First Blade was just more of the same thing. It just felt like a very expanded side quest.
Yeah.
That you would just play through in this game anyway. But Atlantis was trying to do something different, and I mostly liked it.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, the first one, it did feel very samey. Does anyone know, just to sidetrack here, when is this? There's a couple more trophy content coming, isn't there, for this discovery mode, or is that undetermined at this stage?
That's already come out, and apparently no more trophies are coming.
Wait, does that mean that I can finally delete this game and get my?
Well, that's why I went back to play the downloadable content, because I was told I can finally delete it. So
okay, so it might be done.
You mean Excellent. I can get my 100 gigabytes?
They said the last.
Space back?
Yeah,
exactly.
they said the last Lost Tales of Greece is out and the Discovery mode is out. Neither added trophies, so that should be it.
Okay. Well, there you go, listeners. Finally, we can free up some space.
Yeah, I'll just throw a quick shout out because again, Juhani Otseberg returns in the DLC and he's Finnish. So there.
So now,
Go Finland.
God of War. What do you think? I'm just looking. You've played slightly less than me, which is interesting.
Yeah,
you've only just started though, haven't you? So what initial impressions? What do you?
Yeah, I'm playing it through the PlayStation Now thing because it's free until January.
Oh, does this mean you're streaming it, or is it actually downloadable?
No, I downloaded it. Yeah, I downloaded it.
Yeah.
That's how. Yeah, how is it playing? Because I noticed that as well. That they have a bunch of top tier titles free with the PlayStation Now until January, and I was considering buying like a month of that and going through God of War and I made a list of like 4 or 5 games that they have that are on the PlayStation Now service and trying to get all of those in within a month, so I don't have to pay more for this streaming service. But does it play okay? Is there stuttering in the connection or?
Well, if you download the game, then there's not gonna be any problems because it doesn't really require PlayStation Now. But if
that's right. Is it one of those ones you can download? Because you can't download all of them.
Yeah, most of the PlayStation 4 games can be downloaded. None of the PlayStation 3 games can be downloaded, and none of the PlayStation 2 games can be downloaded. But if you stream, then it depends on your online connection, whether it stutters or not.
I think I might do that because I do want to play God of War.
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. It's good.
It's a very good deal, that as well, isn't it, with those games in there? It's something to look out for. I'm going to ask you, because you would have done this, it's the very beginning, Zadorvp, the opening fight there. Did you enjoy that? It's highly scripted, highly cinematic. It's not a spoiler, Mindi, because it happens in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've always liked the cinematic things they do in God of War fights. You know, the bigger the better. It's a shame it wasn't the big one.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's a good starter. Yeah. Okay. Now, Strange Brigade. What do you think?
I like it. It's Indiana Jones with multiplayer, kind of, and lots of zombies and mummies.
Yeah. It's been a while since I jumped back into this game. So this is an English. They're like an English group, aren't they, or an English expedition, or whatever. Yeah. So the humor in this, Mindi, I don't know if you've ever played this or if you've seen any of it. It's quite good. It's very, very English and proper. I like it. I like it a lot. Are you playing this by yourself, solo, or in a group?
Yeah, I'm playing it by myself so far. I'll need someone to do multiplayer with at some point, but right now I'm just testing out the single player stuff.
How do you find it as a single player? Because I know a lot of the game, well, not a lot, a good portion of the game works very well single player, but there are a lot of big open areas that, the enemies swarm in, that it looks very much so like it's been designed for multiple people. How do you find that in single player? Is it still interesting and fun?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of traps you can use, which I make use of. And then because the Halloween sale also had the DLC for sale, so I have the DLC grenades, and they're pretty good.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't think I had the DLC at that point. I didn't realize they had those. Yeah. And the expansions. I think the multiplayer, listeners, if you haven't played this, I don't think it's too complex though, is it? I don't think you have to play the whole game. It's only the multiplayer modes, isn't it? Certain trophies.
Yeah, and you can choose levels, so you don't have to play through the whole thing.
Yeah.
You can just join in at any point, and there's also a quick play. I haven't tried it, but maybe it looks for a random player. I don't know.
Yeah. In fact, that's a bit of a sneaky tip, listeners. There is one trophy, I forget what it's called there, in the multiplayer for reaching I want to say this. I know it's not the second wave, but maybe like the second set of waves. So maybe the 10th or 20th. I don't know. But you can actually, you're right. If you can find a game and jump in the wave before, you will still get that trophy. And there's a trophy, evasive action. That's right, for getting to the wave 4 without taking any damage. So you can actually jump into someone in wave 3 and get that as well.
Yeah, that's the horde mode, right?
Yes, not the horde mode. Yeah.
Campaign.
Yeah, not the campaign. No, sorry. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Although I don't know with the campaign, because you can jump into other people's games. So I assume you just can't jump into people that are further ahead of you in the game. I'm not sure how that works, because I too
Well,
played.
yeah, maybe I'll try that at some point.
Yeah. And then we're gonna go back. Please, Mindy, feel free to throw any questions here. But we are, as we discovered last week with Zach, we're a little bit like platinum vultures. We like to go through and see what's hidden there in the list. And I'm going to ask you about Ghostbusters, because I see you've platted this game
Twice. PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4.
Yes, twice. Yes. So this one is the one
Yeah.
without multiplayer, so much easier.
Yes. Yeah.
Now tell me about this game. As you said, it's basically the third movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what Dan Aykroyd also says. It's basically the third movie. It's got a good plot and returning characters, lots of ghosts, demons. It's fun. I like the multiplayer though, so I missed that.
Is that coming to the PS4 version, or is that not?
Well, they said they're building it from the ground up, so it's gonna be completely
okay.
new. But currently, no multiplayer, and no multiplayer trophies either, which is something a lot of people care about.
So, I mean, obviously you've played this game before, so you're quite experienced with it. But can I ask, how difficult is the professional difficulty, say, compared to the lower difficulty? Is it a big step up or not? Not so much.
It's fairly different, but on PlayStation 3 I played through the professional legit, and on PlayStation 4 I used the thing for only playing the beginning of the chapter and then the end of the chapter, and it counts as you completing levels. So you can cheat your way through it.
Really? Is that true? I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. I'm going to look into that. That's fantastic. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Do
Okay.
that.
And then the other question I had. Sorry, Mindy, I'm hogging the questions here, but
That's okay. I've got two I want to ask after you, so go ahead.
see, our listeners here, what I'm doing is I'm using Zadorvp as a human trophy guide for myself at this point. So you'll have to bear with me, but I think you'll be interested in this question too about the damage. So Zadorvp, there's a trophy here for completing the game with more than 3 million, is it, in property damage, and then also one for completing the game with less than 100,000. So what is the best way to do the 100,000
Well,
one?
first of all damage is on your career profile. So if you go over 100,000, then you can no longer get that trophy without starting a new career. That's key, because if you go over, you can't just reset back your damage without starting over all over again. So you basically have to either do 100,000, less than 100,000 on your first run, and then go back and farm the damage. So you have to be kind of careful with the 100,000. Aim well and maybe let the other Ghostbusters take care of ghosts. And especially don't shoot at cars, because there's one whole section of levels where there's a lot of cars, and those add up hundreds of thousands of damage if you hit them.
So it's a Ghostbusters video game, so I'm going to make the joke. Is there a level where you just climb up a ton of stairs?
There are some stairs.
That's a reference to the Nintendo game.
Well, because there are a lot of references in this game to the older games, including there's the winning screen of the first Ghostbusters game. There's lots of little Easter eggs and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah,
proven
that one.
yourselves. Go and
Yeah.
rest our heroes.
Yeah, it's in there. It's
That's
on a computer
fantastic.
screen. So there's lots of little Easter eggs. There's references to the animated series. Lots of fun stuff.
Listeners, like, I mean, I haven't played the other Ghostbusters games, but I'm really enjoying that. Yeah, and it does. You're right, Sato. It does play like a movie. Yeah, it's great. It's great. Now, if there's nothing else on that one, Mindy, can we go to Ni no Kuni? Now, Wrath of the White Witch. So we said a few weeks ago when we read out that you went around and collected all the familiars, even though you didn't.
Yeah, all the possible ones.
So even
there are some that you can't get both last versions of, because there's you get to select one of the final evolutions.
Yeah.
But the ones that were original DLC, you can only select one of the final evolution tiers.
Oh.
So you can't actually get all familiars, but I got all the possible ones.
Okay, so what do you like? Like, what do you like about this game? Obviously, you must really love it to invest that energy and time into it. What is it about this game?
Well, first of all, it's a level 5 game, and they make great games. Then it's got Studio Ghibli. That's another good thing. It's well,
they do. Level 5 doesn't have a ton of stuff out on the PS4 on the PlayStation though, do they?
Yeah, they don't, but I'll just say that Yokai Watch, which they do for NDS and
Mhm.
stuff, will get a PlayStation 4 version of the next one. So that's another Pokemon Get
If you
game.
listeners, if you
Just
if
like
you have
this
other
one.
systems, level 5 is at least how I know them. They do all the like the Professor Layton games.
Yeah.
If you're more of a trophy hunter, they did the White Knight Chronicles games and Dark Cloud. So you either got PlayStation RPGs or you got fun little DS.
Rogue Galaxy.
Oh, and Rogue Galaxy, you're right.
Yeah, that's the best one.
I've heard someone say that before. I don't know who, but I've definitely heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ni no Kuni 1 or 2, which one did you prefer?
This first one.
Yeah, I thought you're gonna say that. Okay,
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah,
The sequel is good too, but this one is a lot better.
And then CJ, whenever we talked about Nino, because I guess you were playing it or something, I mentioned the there was a DS game called I can't even remember what it's called again, the Black Devil or something like that.
Dominion of the Dark Djinn.
Dominion of the Dark Djinn.
Yeah.
And I had said on the podcast that it came with this beautiful spell book, and CJ sent me. I'm not CJ. Zadorvp sent me pictures because he owns it. So he sent me pictures of the book. It's beautiful, and I think his dog was in the picture too, and his dog is very cute.
Well, he tells me that he's worried that his dog is going to attack the plushie toys. So
yeah, but it's high up now.
Yeah,
he ain't gonna get trippy.
Well, we'll have to wait and see that. Now, look, I'm going to ask just one more set of games, if that's okay, Zadorvp. And I know we're spending some time here, listeners, but it's not often we get someone that plays a lot of VR. And you do play a fair amount. So just three VR games that I haven't heard a lot about. So if you could let us know about them, that would be great. Starting with LA Noire, the VR case files.
Yeah.
What is this exactly? Is this just the game stripped down to the cases, or is this new cases?
Yeah,
or...
so it's hand-picked cases from the game, 8 of them, I think. I don't remember. And they have been remade for VR, but there's like lots of story parts are missing, so the plot doesn't make sense. It's basically just if you want to experience some of them in VR.
Is it worth it or not particularly?
I like the driving parts; those were fun. VR driving, because I haven't played any of the real driving games on VR, so that was a new experience for me. And I also like the world of Noire, so I thought it was worth it. But maybe wait for a huge price drop. Like huge.
How's the gunplay in this?
Kind of difficult for me because I have problems getting my camera to pick me up. I'm too tall, so I have to crouch down or sit at times because it doesn't really pick up my hands properly.
Okay, interesting. Now, this next one, I haven't. This came out, to a lot of fanfare, obviously because of Job Simulator, and then it's just gone. I have not heard anything about it since then, and I see you've played some of it. This Vacation Simulator.
Yeah.
What is this like?
Well, it's harder than Job Simulator. There's a lot of things there that if you want to be efficient, you would require a trophy guide or a video guide, and I've looked around. Pretty much everything for this game is a video guide, and I don't like following a video guide if I'm already using the VR classes. So it's made it very difficult to only play little bits of it at the time.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case for a lot of people that hasn't picked up as well. And then the last one, Groundhog Day, like father, like son. What was this like?
Is it a horror game?
No, Mindi. Groundhog Day is not a horror movie, and this is
it's
not
a
a horror
movie.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No.
Yes, it is.
No.
We'll agree to disagree. How's the game?
I like the game. It's by the same people who made the Sexy Brutal and also Invisible Hours, and it's got that same basically.
Man.
Yeah, they've mastered, in my opinion, pretty much the time-based gameplay, and this is just another one of those. It's very cartoony. I don't really mind, but probably some people do. None of the actual people from the movie reprised their roles, which is kind of sad. Yeah, especially no Bill Murray. So
Mm.
So the characters are the same, but
some of the characters are same. Yeah, some of the characters. There's Ned, then there's Phil. I don't remember the mother's name. She's the mother in this one. She's not the mother in the movie. Bill Murray's girlfriend, future wife. That one.
I know the actress's name, but yeah, I can't remember her character name because I don't watch it because it's a horror movie.
So scary.
Is the game basically like a walking simulator, like with puzzles or something, or how does it play?
Well, I guess you could say a walking simulator, but you don't really walk. You teleport around because it's a VR game. But I wouldn't. There are some puzzles, but mostly it's repeating the same scenes over and over again every day because you learn new things. Then you go again and do the same thing, but this time you can skip things because you now know how to get through them. Like you could order food instead of making breakfast, because first time you have to make breakfast, but the next time you just order the food because they like that more than your breakfast.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's more of not like a walking simulator at all. It sounds like it's more of an adventure game.
Sure.
Like not a point and click, but like a puzzle adventure game.
It's a point and hold move controller game.
That's the evolution of the point and click genre, Mindy, the point and hold controller. I like it. That's good.
I had one more game I wanted to ask Zadorvp about, and then I'll leave you alone for a while, Zadorvp, I promise.
Yeah.
You're a bit of a Hitman fan. I want to hear what you think about Hitman 2. Is it, obviously, 80% of this game is just Hitman 1. What about the actual expansions?
Well, I've liked all of them. I haven't tried the newest one, and I haven't tried any of the sniper ones after the first one. Because I'd rather do those in multiplayer, but I don't have friends who play. Well, anymore.
Yeah,
at least.
and I need to get on it. I'm worried about the sniper stuff. Are there trophies for the sniper?
Yeah, all
part?
of them have trophies. All of them.
Fabulous.
But yeah, I really like the bank location they added in this one. It's one of the later ones, not in the base game. I really like that one. It's a contained place, but it's got fun challenges like how to get into the vault at the basement of the bank and stuff. I liked it.
There's a new location. I've seen people doing like let's plays of it. It's like an island where like a secret society is meeting.
Yeah. So that's Isle of Scale, I think. I don't remember. That one was in the base game of this one, and it's the best of the base game. Well, actually, there's another one which is a Quiet Suburb, and it's a reference to one of the ones from the earlier Hitman games.
Yeah, I was gonna say that because I have seen that.
It even has even the name is a reference to the earlier one. The name of the level, I mean. Yeah. I just don't remember how it goes.
Because every time I finish a game, I see Hitman sitting on my PS4, and I'm like, oh, I want to play Hitman 2, but I'm like, but then I'm just gonna keep playing Hitman 2, and I'm not gonna play anything else.
Yeah, that's
because the problem is that when I did the first Hitman, it took me about a year, I think, to do it because I played a whole bunch of it, and then I stopped. But then it took me so long to relearn how to play the game and how all the people in the levels moved. So I said, well, Hitman 2, I'll stay on top of it and I'll, knock it all out. But then they just kept releasing more. And this was before I knew that they were just going to port the entirety of Hitman 1 into Hitman 2. So then it really became a case of I don't want to do Colorado again.
Yeah.
Because Colorado is a terrible, terrible Hitman map. And Vader, I'm sure you'll agree.
Yeah, I don't like Colorado, except when you're playing as the Scarecrow on that one. Then it's great.
That is true. That is fun. Awful. But the map itself is just awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And the fact that you have to get past an eye scanner, I won't say any more about that. Just make too long.
I remember that now. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
That combined with 4 targets is just annoying.
That's absolutely right, because you're surrounded by open fields, but you can't escape through any of them. You have to go through the eye scanner door, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah,
now I'm
except
annoyed.
if you're playing in contracts mode, then you can use other exits. The best exit in that map is in the contracts mode or whatever it's called. That mode. It's I won't go into it. It's an Easter egg vehicle. It's fun.
I know there's a racetrack level and there's an escalation where you have to play in a flamingo outfit.
Yeah.
But once you're in the flamingo outfit, one of the exits available to use the helipad, and instead of getting on a helicopter, you just fly away.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun Easter egg exits in this one.
Do they?
Yeah, there's one where you basically ride on a dolphin, which keeps going underwater, stuff like that. Then there's a Wall Street kind of level. It's the bank, and you get to do the Wall Street jump, as in you jump off because the stock market crashed.
Oh God, you mean like the?
Yeah, suicide jumping. Another thing that I should probably mention about Hitman 2 is at launch until I don't know how long after, they had the briefcase system in this one. And if you threw a briefcase, it in the beginning months of the game, it was a homing briefcase. So even if your target would go like it would go around the corner or something, the briefcase would just fly after them around the corner and hit them still. So then they patched that out.
I remember that that was a bug, but then they've purposefully put that into this
they
game,
added
right?
it back, as in it's a
That's
it's a reward
fantastic.
that you can get now from what are they called, escalation missions or something like that.
That's fantastic, and that is
Yeah.
one of the first things I will go for because
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, the homing briefcase was really, really funny.
The best thing.
So, Mindi, it looks like you have been pretty busy this week. What would you like to drop on our listeners?
I honestly haven't been that busy. Half of what I played is just really quick stuff. But I did play the Sojourn, which I know we talked about briefly in another podcast. It's a puzzle game. It's very pretty, but it's very samey. You're solving variations on the same type of puzzle. There's 50 of them, probably a little more. And I don't know if I liked or not about this game. There is a story in this game, but it's all told in, you keep passing statues that are like showing what the story is supposed to be, but it's all down to your own interpretation of it. And I'm kind of like, but this is not what these people are doing. They're not solving the same puzzles I am, so kind of what's the point of this? Right? And what I thought was funny was, for the majority of the time, I mean, these statues you're passing are obviously taking some sort of journey, and they're all blindfolded. So I just kept thinking of Bird Box, which is that Sandra Bullock Netflix horror movie where they're taking a journey with the blindfolds.
Yeah, that is a horror movie, unlike Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
I like it. Can I just ask, Mindy, because I think I'm thinking of the right game. Is this the game where you go between like a light and a dark world as well in the same world? Yeah. Yeah. I quite enjoyed this. I mean, I didn't finish it, but I did quite enjoy it. It is very beautiful. Yeah.
It is very beautiful. I like the puzzle mechanics are interesting, but if you boil it down, it's a lot of redirect beams of light, like move mirrors to, and I wish they had, there's like 5 worlds, and each world introduces a new mechanic. And I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to fold in all of the mechanics at once as you go through. I kind of wish they'd concentrated more on, so like the first world introduces statues, and you can teleport, you can swap places with statues. I kind of wish the first world had been just those kind of puzzles, and the second world introduced the mirrors, and I was like, I wish the second world had just been about the mirrors. And the third world introduced I don't remember, but then like the last world was, or like the fourth world introduced portals, where once you walk through the portal, you're just eternally in the dark world until you go back through the portal. And I wish the fourth world had just been about, instead of tying everything together, because at some point these stages get bigger and bigger to bring in all these mechanics, and it's very easy to forget what's pointing where and track all this. So it's not fun to realize, oh, I didn't turn the mirror in the right direction. Now I have to figure out what to adjust so I can get back to that mirror, and then remember to readjust everything as I go back. You know what I mean? So I played it legit for a while, and then I started using video guides.
Yeah. Can I ask, with that in mind, how complex do these puzzles become then towards the end? Are they pretty full on?
Well, they have, and if you want the platinum, you have to do them. But there's one puzzle to get to the like the next level, right? To unlock the next level. But then once you've unlocked the portal that'll take you to the next level, most of the stages will start adding more platforms, and and therefore more puzzle elements. So if you don't go to the next level, but you turn around and you solve that, you get what's called a merit, which is just a little scroll with like some wisdom on it. I think half of them are like Bible verses or something like that, which kind of makes me wonder if this is a religious game. But those are the game's collectibles, so you'd have to get those for the platinum. Those are more difficult. Those add an extra level of challenge, but they can get fairly complex. Thankfully, nothing is really down to super tight timing, but sometimes like positioning the mirrors, the angles can be a bit off, and that's frustrating.
Now, the Bradwell conspiracy, is this spam, high class spam, or is this a game of value?
Spam.
Oh, okay.
It has frame rate issues, like crazy frame rate issues.
So this is from the people who made I Am Bread and what's the other one? The Surgeon Simulator.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh no, it's the same publisher. It's not the same developer.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
That's a shame.
Surgeon Simulator, I Am Bread. You're absolutely right. But this is so the main mechanic of this game is you have a printer gun. Like you go around and you can get blueprints for specific items, and then as long as you've absorbed, I think they're called like substances, which is like beams or bricks of matter, something like that. You can print whatever you have blueprints for. So you'll use this to print like platforms so you can get across gaps, or something heavy to hold a switch down, or you can print a key to get, unlock a door.
And apparently cats and dogs.
Yes, there are points where you print a cat and a dog and those for holding down switches. They're statues. They're not real cats and dogs.
That is what dogs are for, though, in my opinion. Holding down buttons.
It's very true.
Stuff like that, yeah.
It's spam. The story is interesting until it's not. I checked out of it. My understanding is it gets more interesting at the end, but by that point I was kind of checked out. So I didn't pay a ton of attention to the end.
So how far into the 4 hours 35 minutes you played?
Yeah.
How far into that did you pay attention?
Like an hour.
Oh,
Okay.
That's not great. Can I ask too? I heard that I knew there were frame rate issues in the first level, but do they extend throughout the whole game, or is it only in the first section?
So it's the first, like the prologue has really bad frame rate. Most of the time it's fine. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Most of the time it's fine. But there are times where it'll stutter for a bit, and then you just get through it.
Might be worth waiting for a sale on that one. I'm not sure what it's worth anyway.
I would say wait for a sale. I'd say $10 or under for this one.
Okay.
It's not bad. It really isn't. I just have less patience for the story than in other games.
Yeah. And with a guide, it's fairly easy. There's nothing crazy.
I mean, it's not too bad even without a guide. The one thing is that there are many collectibles in this game, and there's no chapter select. So if there was chapter select, I'd say you could pretty easily do this without a guide. But because there are a bunch of collectibles, I would say, play it with a guide, just so you're not missing collectibles, and you can get everything done in one playthrough that way.
Now, who would have thought you had an Art Mundi game left? Definitely not me.
I know, right?
Did you miss it? Did you forget, or that you had it?
No. So we're talking about Dark Arcana: The Carnival. So this is one of the earlier ones that came on PS4, and I've had it on my system for a long time. I had it on a different account. I bought it on like an EU sale. So yeah, I kind of forgot that I had it. It's one of the earlier ones, which means you have to play it twice. Because the first time you have to do all the hidden object stuff, and the second one you have to do all the mahjong. No, it wasn't mahjong in this one. It was Monaco, I think.
Mindy, we know you're gifted. You're very skilled in the art of guide writing for these games.
Yeah.
Even though you hadn't platted this game, had you actually written the guide, or were you following
No.
your own? Oh, okay. I was going to say that would be impressive. You don't even need to play it anymore. You're just pumping out the guides.
No, this one had a walkthrough of our own true achievements, and I didn't even write the trophy. Someone else wrote the trophy guide for it. I don't write guides for games I haven't played, thank you.
No, well, you're just so good at these now. I thought maybe you could just write it without it, and you just look at the list and go, "Yep, okay." No, fair enough.
You know how much time that would save me if I could do that?
Just copy and paste, change the names of the locations. Oh, I love it. Newt one. We've had somebody who talked.
It was
about
Ulcera.
this. Oh, it was too. Yeah. So what do you think?
Easy platinum, spam-ish. It's a little longer, I think, to be considered pure spam. Like CJ, I don't think you would complete this, even though you actually get through it pretty quickly. It's a platformer. It's cute, but the problem I have with it is it has slippery controls. So when you jump and you land, oftentimes your character will nudge forward a bit, and sometimes you're making jumps on small platforms, which means you're just falling right off the platform. And thankfully there's no lives, you don't have to worry about getting through all the levels or any of the levels actually without falling off or without dying. And there's a reset button you can hit to bring you back to the next kind of checkpoint platform. It really annoyed me because you take slippery platform controls and then you say, hey, let's have a level that's set in a snow world, which means the platforms are going to be slippery anyway. So you have to adjust for that. It's so annoying. But it's still a fairly easy platinum. Nothing is missable. There's level select, and the hardest level in the game you don't even have to do, which is fantastic. I did it anyway for funsies, but because I wanted to see how much more of the game there was, which it turns out wasn't anything after that. Even the hardest level in the game wasn't terribly difficult.
No, and that's quite a reasonable price, I think. Too. That's quite cheap, isn't it? That game from memory. So
yeah, I think so. I would still wait for a sale on it though, because I can't condone making a platformer without solid controls. So
perfect. Anything else you'd like to throw out?
No, that's all I played this week.
That's quite. It is quite a bit. So look, listeners, I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't had much time. I played the editing game largely this week with all our Halloween episodes. So unfortunately, they don't award trophies for that yet. Otherwise, I would be racking up many Adobe Audition platinums, I feel, at this point. But what did I play? So look, I played Race with Ryan. Are either of you familiar, Zadorvp or Mindi, with Ryan? Do you know about him?
No, but this looks like a little kart racer, right?
It is. So this is like there's been a few kart races. There was a fruit one, Super Fruit Racing or something like this last year that came out, a kart racer or something. So they're, I don't want to say lower budget because the game is actually quite polished. Obviously, it's aimed at it's a child's kart racing game or whatever, but it has all the mechanics of a normal kart race. So, you can drift. The drift mechanics work well. There's plenty of pickups. In fact, if anything, listeners, there's probably too many pickups. There's like a pickup every 5 seconds almost. So the track gets absolutely covered in oil, and there's a good variation on the pickups as well. Overall, it's a very easy game, even on hard difficulty. It's not hard. I mean, it's if you're used to playing kart races that can be a little cheap at times, where you just get, you get into the final section of the last lap, and then all of a sudden everybody throws their pickup at you and you just get nailed into last place. You don't need to worry about that in this game. It looks graphically good, but I would be remiss of me not to say that I don't know who this Ryan is either. He looks like he's a 6-year-old or something, but there's a lot of live caption of him in the game. So, between races or between series, they do a little video of him sitting on the couch saying stuff. I'm not exactly sure what he says, listeners, because I've muted it. I don't think it would interest me anyway, but he's very prominent in this game. And one of the fun things about this game, Mindi, is that you'll be racing and something will happen. So say you pass someone, he'll actually appear in the bottom of the screen, like a photo of him doing a certain pose or whatever else, like a happy pose or whatever. But when something goes wrong, like when someone hits you or if you miss somebody or whatever, he also appears on the bottom of the screen and he does like this angry face or like this scowl at you, or he puts his finger on his lip like he's judging you. And I didn't think this would worry me, but I'm going to say, listeners, it kind of annoys me a lot. I think this Ryan, he's getting to me. And I was thinking about it last night because we were playing together, and I was like, this must be what it's like to have a 6-year-old. They're just trolling you in effect. Every time something goes wrong or something they don't like, they just come up and they appear and they do something to frustrate you. So look, I don't know. People with young children, you can correct me, but that was the feeling that I got. But look, that aside, it's definitely a spam plat. I'd definitely wait for a sale on that one. If you do, what else can we talk? Maybe the Disney classic games. I mean, I imagine.
Yes, Aladdin, Lion King. Go on, talk.
You're both a fan of this. I mean, you both played the original games. I imagine.
I have. Mindy, have you?
Yeah, Mindy, have you played them?
Yeah, I played the SNES once, but this is a Sheeny Platinum, right?
Well, look, it is. I think doing this legit would be very difficult. I mean, you talked, Mindy, about one of the levels. Was it in Lion King being quite difficult to do with all the stuff going on?
Well, difficult when you're a kid.
Yeah. Well,
probably not as difficult.
Depends on the adult.
Well, I don't know. I mean, because yeah, I'm not sure because you have to beat the games on difficult as well if you do it legit and stuff. But I'm not sure how hard that would be. It's not the sort of. I mean, I obviously didn't know what it was because I hadn't played the games before going in. It's not what I expected. It's one of these games. I don't know the term, the actual correct term here, listeners, so I apologize. But where the game is sort of in the center of the screen, but it's not big enough to take up the whole screen, so they put like a border, around the rest of the screen, like almost like a frame, if you like, and that's just how these old games play. I don't know, Mindy, if there's a word for that, but it doesn't matter anyway. So it takes up a portion of the screen or whatever platformer. But yeah, I did. In honesty, I did do it as a spam plat. There is a guide for that, which basically the game comes with like fast forwarding options, so you can fast forward between sections. It also comes with an autoplay, so you can watch it do sections and then pick up later on if you want, which makes the trophies very easy. I mean, the guide says 30 minutes. I find that hard to believe unless you knew exactly what you're doing. I also think some of the timings, I know it's only a loose guide at the moment, a text guide. Some of the timings perhaps not quite correct. I ended up switching to there's an Xbox achievement guide where the timings for doing certain things just seemed a bit better for me, but that might have just been the modes that I was playing in. But look, if this is a game for you for nostalgia, I think it's great. It comes with a Final Cut mode, an original mode, and a demo mode, which I'm not really sure of the differences in the gameplay or whatever, but they're there in both games. So there's a lot there. It's a pretty hefty price tag, though, Mindy, I would have thought for this game, but I don't know.
It's like $30, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a Disney game. All these sort of games are expensive to a degree, but it seemed like a lot because, as you said, they're literally ports. They haven't done anything. They're not up-resed, I don't think, or anything. They don't look it. They look pretty. Because I watched a video of the original game in one section because I didn't understand what was happening, and it looked the same as this. So I'm not sure, but it is what it is. Now, I believe you're interested.
Our old buddy Cornshack has he did playthroughs of both of these games.
Yeah.
On his channel, so you can see him play through the whole game, and then you can just use cheat codes and get the platinum. But I want to go back a second to Race with Ryan because I've been googling this, and this game is actually kind of gross. I didn't realize. I thought it was just a generic little kart racer. This is actually based off of a kid's YouTube channel.
Yes, I had a feeling.
So it's something called Ryan's World, and it's just this kid. This feels kind of gross to me now. This game. It's like I don't know, man. It's
well he's in the game.
It feels weird. It feels a little exploitative now.
Well, look, of course, you can bet his parents are in the background pushing him forward, making money off him. But I mean, it's not like his assets been stolen. He is he is the game. Like, you race against him, and he's there with his YouTube, like his clips and stuff. So yeah. No, I'm sure that there's. I think this is one of these games, Mindy, that we shouldn't know anything about it, but parents of young children would know, and they would they'd be all over this. But that is what it is. I suppose. Yeah, I did follow through, listeners, and pick up Spirit of the North. I haven't played it enough to talk about it, other than to say it is incredibly beautiful, and the music is fantastic. So we'll talk more on that last week, and then the last thing, because I know I'm dragging on here, listeners. Last thing, Call of Duty: Modern Warfare. Now, I know we joked weeks ago that we wouldn't play this, but I didn't realize it was just going to be like 99% a single player game, or 100% if you want the plat. It's all single player. And Mindi and Zadorvp, I know Mindi, this doesn't interest you. I'm not sure Zadorvp. I don't think it interests you either. The story is really good. I was surprised. So it's not a port. It's not a what do we say? Like it's a reboot. That's what. It's not a remaster. That's the word I'm looking for. It's definitely a reboot of the series, and it starts off a bit slow. Well, you can't say slow, I suppose, for a Call of Duty, but the narrative really picks up, and there's some good long cutscenes in there that dump some knowledge on you, which is interesting. I mean, it's very pro-American, but all these games always are, or whatever else, very very tough on the Russian. There's a couple of harder scenes, like if you're if you don't engage with it, I'm sure you don't really understand. But some of those scenes in there, they're very close, I think, to very close to commenting on a Russian occupation, if you like, and the wars that have been over there. So some interesting moments, some very very difficult to watch sections with children as well in there. But it's great, and it really does pick up towards the end. It has actually, I dare say, emotional depth in a Call of Duty game towards the end. And one of the things I didn't realize is that they're obviously going to continue with this, because I knew there was a Spec Ops mode, but when the game finishes, you get a very substantial cutscene, which is going to lead into that next section. So this Spec Ops mode will actually have story to it as well. So look, far be it from me to recommend this game, because it's definitely not for me. But having said that, I did actually enjoy it, and obviously playing on the easy difficulty, it's incredibly easy. So it, in effect, plays always forward progression like a movie. So it's good. I would recommend it. And I think the plat, the plat looks very very easy, like 10 to 12 hours. So good. Shall we move on to new releases now, Zadorvp?
Yes.
What have we got? What would you like to kick us off with?
Well, I'll mention Jumanji, the video game. So I'm interested in this game, but it's probably gonna be awful. So Funhouse is the developer, and it's got online and split screen modes, and of course you can also play it single player. I'm not sure if it follows the generic story of the movie in any way, because it's got enemies that aren't in the movies. But I don't know. At least based on screenshots, the characters are still the ones they are in the first movie. So, well, if you haven't seen the movie,
This is based off of the new movie, right? Not the Robin Williams one.
it should be based on basically the first one, the first new movie, because Jack Black is a feminine character in this screenshot wise, at least. So it should mean it's still the same people in the characters, because people enter this video game world and take over characters, and a woman takes over the character of Jack Black. And based on screenshots, that's still the case here.
And then I know you had another one you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, Light Fairy Tale Episode 1. This is a game that had a Kickstarter in 2016. It failed to meet its goal, but the game still got made. It's been on Steam at least before. I don't know when it released, but the trophies look kind of interesting and require you to basically do stuff at certain points, or you can no longer do them. And it's got missable events and stuff like that. It looks kind of interesting. And I think the publisher is also the developer of this game, so it's got no big publisher behind it either.
This looks interesting because it's all in kind of chibi style. So it looks like Final Fantasy 15 Pocket, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that looks like. And then the main character looks kind of like Ramza from Final Fantasy Tactics if you look at them from behind.
Now, is this an episodic RPG, or is this like, here's what we made and we're gonna put it out?
Yeah, I don't think they've made episode 2 though. So it was in early access on Steam at some point. So, but the Platinum is self-contained for this episode, so
Oh,
no
it
need
is.
to no need to be afraid that it's gonna be another what's it called? Blues and Bullets. Yeah, that one. That one. Yeah, it's not gonna be another one of those.
I'm gonna throw out here, and I hesitate to say Rat Game of the Week because we don't know what the Rat Game of the Week is. But considering it's
Well, it is this one.
yeah, right. Considering it's cross-buy on
Yeah.
PS4 and Vita, it's called Football Game, which is a terrible thing to name
Yeah,
your game.
I already checked. It's a rat game. Yeah, it's a rat game.
Oh,
I
is
already
it?
checked, so
Because I checked the Rat website
Yeah.
and I didn't see it, but maybe they just haven't updated it yet.
yeah. Well, I checked their Twitter, and they don't call it by name. They have a screenshot from it and text related to the story of the game.
Oh.
But like, they don't mention the name anywhere. Maybe because the name is so generic.
It's so generic. I googled PS4 football game. You know what? I got a bunch of Madden
Yeah.
stuff. It's not a good name for your game, but I'm all about this. Inspired by 80s and 90s point-click adventures, get ready for a night you won't forget in this twisted Lynchian thriller. I am all about this.
Yeah, David Lynch and point and clicks sounds like a good combination.
Right?
But I believe it's also short, an hour for a playthrough, so it's definitely a rat game there as well.
For not even a platinum,
Yeah.
but a playthrough
Yeah.
is an hour.
It could still be the platinum in 1 hour. I don't know. I don't know how those requirements on the trophy list go.
You're Tommy, a local high school football hero in the town of East Bend. It's a game night for the Purchase County Turbines, and your sweetheart is waiting in the bleachers. Join Tommy for a night you won't forget. It's a horror game with let's see how the pixel art goes. It's not the best looking screenshot though.
Yeah, well, that's a top-notch description for the game anyway.
I'm going to throw out just a little bit because it did come out. I'm not going to. It's either on the EU or NA store already. But look, by the time you hear this, listeners, I'm sure it'll be on both stores. And this is Police Chase. Now, the trophy list has not gone live for this game, even though it's been out for a week or two. So you might want to check on the other region. It doesn't have a platinum. It is only 100% game. But look, that being said, or whatever, I think for what it is slightly overpriced at this stage. But it's basically a visual novel / driving police game. So there's large portions of text, fixed text, if you like, with splash screen pictures, and then you get put in the car and you do various police things. So look, the driving plays well overall. The graphics are a little bit budget in that sort of section. It is an open world, but it's not a massive world or whatever. And the missions are roughly what you would expect from chasing people down, issuing fines, to disturbance of the peace, all this different sort of stuff. So look, it's quite fun actually, and the story is quite nice, sort of following a rookie cop as he moves through the ranks. So look, it is fine. And then we don't need to talk about it, but obviously the big release for the week will be Death Stranding, although the reviews seem to be all over the place, Mindy. Perhaps people have not formed their opinion yet on Conan's role in the game.
I was gonna say maybe they just haven't found my boy Conan.
Yes.
Because this is interesting. Was that last year Conan OBrien did? I talked about how he does these trips to various countries. He went to Japan for one of these, and because there's a place in Japan called Conan Town after Detective Conan, who is a manga and an anime character, and Detective Conan is huge in Japan, and so Conan got into a fake war with the mayor of Conan Town and said, "You guys are like, I am Conan. Like, people think of Conan, they think of me. You're profiting off my name. I want you to pay me reparations." And so he got in this fake social media fight with the mayor of Conan Town, which turned into him traveling to Conan Town to pick up his fake check for, I think it was like 2 trillion yen. So it's fun. But I've been sitting on this for a year, and it's so interesting because Conan has this great series called Clueless Gamer, where he plays video games and he knows nothing about them because he doesn't play video games. But while he was in Japan, he went to Hideo Kojima's studio and learned about Death Stranding. And he's been sitting on this for a year. And he didn't air his little segment video about it until I think last week or the week before, when an expanded trailer for this game came out. But for a year, like, he saw the weird baby in the birth canal trailer, and he just turns to Hideo Kojima and goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
That's right.
But they played off each other pretty well, actually. But then Hideo Kojima was like, "Do you want to be in the game?" So he scanned Conan and put him in it's like a holograph that Norman Reedus talks to in the game. And I hope he's actually there. I hope he didn't Hideo Kojima didn't just do that for the lulls.
Well, I'll mention that all the other times they've shown on Conan him doing a video game thing, like the Halo one, they've still actually had that in the game. So I would believe it's there.
That was a great Easter egg when they put him in Halo.
Yeah, him and Andy Richter.
It was pretty funny. They're just two random soldiers standing in a cargo hold.
Yeah, guarding some crates or something.
And they're guarding crates. I love it because he's like, "This is a pretty sweet union we have. Stand near the crates, but don't go anywhere. But don't touch them."
Yeah.
It will definitely be interesting to see with that Death Stranding, because obviously the reviews are all over the place. So it will be what it will be. But look, listeners, it would. I'm going to drop this in here just because this happened the other day on the Discord, and of course the link for the Discord is in the show notes if you're interested in joining. It's fairly passive Discord until the other day where somehow we got into a discussion on the ratings of Death Stranding, and a fellow listener, Scottish Nub, NUB. Could be noob, but maybe that wasn't available, so he went with Scottish Nub. I don't know. Anyway, he seems confident to think that Death Stranding will finish with an overall rating on Metacritic of between 90 and 100, which, look, I think that's very fantastical, and, good luck on achieving that, sir, because I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's sitting around an 84 at present, with most of the media outlets already reviewing it, and of course...
Yeah, over 70. Over 70 critics have already rated it.
Yes, and of course, the IGN slamming it with a 6.8. Obviously, the check was not big enough this time for them, so it's a nice 6.8 there. But yeah, I think you're dreaming, and so I countered his offer with an equally ridiculous offer, I feel, having considered looking at afterwards at the rating for the previous game. But I think Need for Speed will rate between 80 and 90, and I think it's about time, because I've enjoyed the last couple, but they haven't rated particularly well. So this will be interesting. If listeners, if we both are incorrect, then we will be playing Final Fantasy 12, Minty, and we have to finish it by the end of January. If one of us is incorrect, then they have to play Final Fantasy 12. If we're both correct, then neither of us have to play it. So I haven't looked at Scottish Nub's trophy list, the sort of games that he likes to play, but I think this is a bit of a win for me, listeners, because I am slowly working my way through the Final Fantasy catalog. I've done 15, I've done 14, not going to do 13 unless it comes to a modern system. So 12 is the natural next step for me. But Mindy, this is a PS2 game, so apparently, so it will be interesting to see what happens there.
I remember Final Fantasy 12. You're gonna have fun with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the one I was talking about last week, where the guy beat a boss by whacking the controller on his butt.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So look, I know, look, Mr. Scotsman, you will definitely be playing it, because there's no way that game's getting a 90 or higher. The question now is whether I will be or not. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Need for Speed will surprise us. But look,
I want to know the specific language of this bet, because you could just pull a CJ and be like, "Well, I played it for 10 minutes. I've played it." Bet over.
Yeah, you have to plat it by the end of January. So if we're both wrong, we both have to plat it by the end of January. Is
there a platinum for this game?
For Final Fantasy?
It's a PS2 game.
No, you can play the remaster.
Zodiac 8.
Yeah.
It was
remastered.
The
Zodiac 8. That's right.
Yes. We'll play it on PS4, not the original on PS2, yeah.
Oh, but have fun with that.
You really think CJ would go near a PlayStation 2?
God, no. No. I tell you what, this Gambit system, old Scottish mate, he doesn't know what this is yet, but he's going to find out. It's not fun. Oh, please. But anyway, look, that will be interesting.
Oh, considering the fastest platinum achiever is 1 day and 7 hours. Good luck with that.
No, it's like 100 hours. How did you do it in 1 day? I don't know. Somebody's crazy. So anyway, listeners, let's shuffle across to the topic today. So we finally made it. The topic is going to be, now this is a topic that I've wanted to do for quite a while. I know Mindy is all over this topic, and Zadorvp as well. And it is Lego games. So what I thought we'd do, because I'm pretty sure I've only platted like 1 or 2 Lego games, but I know you've platted most of them, or a large number of them. I think it's fair to say. Is that correct, Mindy and Zadorvp?
Well, Mindy has done most of them, like all but, was it 1?
So I've platinumed all Lego games except for Lego Movie 2, but I actually put in a request at my library for that, so I'll be getting that soon. Lego Worlds, which is just sitting on my shelf. and technically Lego Rock Band, but again, that's not a Lego game, and I stand by that conviction.
Yeah, we've agreed. It's not a Lego game.
Thank you. It's not.
It's a Rock Band game. Yeah.
That's most of them then. Basically all
Yeah.
of them. Yeah. And you've done quite a lot yourself too, Zador, I've seen.
Yeah, I'm missing those same ones, and then I'm missing one Vita game, and I think something else. I don't remember what.
So, listeners, I feel there is no better time then to bring back the quiz, the Know Your Lego Games trophy quiz, because we have two experts. But look, as I said, I didn't know a lot about this. So what I thought, I had a little time yesterday, and, rather than do something constructive, I thought I would research the history of Lego games, loosely from, when they start to sort of now. And then, so basically I can dump some knowledge on you, because if you're like me, we can learn. But then it's also going to have a question in each section where Zador and Mindi can answer. Now, some of these I would have thought would be quite hard, but because you're both masters of the Lego genre, they may be easy for you. I don't know. We will find out. So if we're ready, why don't we start? Now, the first Lego game, Lego Fun to Build, was released in December of 1995 exclusively in Japan. It consisted of 4 levels: the town, aquazone, castle, and space, with 5 building puzzles and 4 minigames. Developed and published by the Lego Group, which console did this game appear on?
Some old console.
What year did the game come out?
1995, exclusively in Japan.
I'm gonna say if it's exclusively in Japan, I'm gonna say it's gonna be something weird like the Wonder Swan. Like one of those Japanese only.
Either a Japan only console or.
I'll give you a hint. It's a Sega console.
Sega Master System. No. No.
Not in 95.
This I'd never heard of this, so I don't know if you were.
Oh well, then I don't know. If you've never heard of it.
Was the Nomad? Wait, did the Sega Nomad actually come out, or was that one of the ones that died? The Nomad was one of their handheld. I don't know.
I'm going to put you out of your misery now. I'm not even sure how to pronounce this, so if you've heard of it, you can correct me. The Sega Pico or Pico, Pico. Have you heard of it?
Oh.
I haven't heard of it, no.
Oh, it's like that's a cheat. That's like a leapfrog. That's like a kid's thing.
Yes, yeah, and it's like an educational console, if you like.
Yeah, like a leapfrog.
Yeah, and that was.
Well, then I don't know it. I don't do education.
No.
No.
I understand. So that's interesting, though. That's where the first Lego game, Lego Fun to Build, came. Now, let's move on. In 1997, French developer publisher Mindscape released the first Lego game to be released outside of Japan. A non-linear first-person game with no objectives. The first entry in what went on to be a 3-part series. This was released on September 26, 1997 for Windows PC. Do you know what this game is?
I actually know the answer to this.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
It's Lego Island, right?
Yeah.
It is Lego Island from 1997. Yeah, it's very, very good. Too easy. Okay, let's move on. In 1998, saw the release of 3 Lego games from 3 different developers. Lego Loco by Intelligent Games, Lego Chess from Chrysler Software, and Lego Creator by Superscape. In 1999, it was time for the PlayStation to embrace the Lego movement. Following the release on Windows, then Nintendo 64, but preceding the release of Game Boy Color on December 17th, the first Lego game released on a PlayStation console. It was set in the fictional Legoland universe. It's the first game in a series of 3, and it was developed by High Voltage Software and Climax Studios. What is this game? The first Lego game on a PlayStation console.
What year was it?
1999. December 17th, 1999.
Was it
First of 3. This is going to be a tough one.
It was I would say didn't they have some like kart racers? So whatever that was called. I don't know the name.
It's Lego whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yes, very good, Zadorvp. Lego. It's always a safe answer. Lego something. I know you.
Yeah.
Very good, Mindy. Lego Racers was the first one.
Oh.
Yes, 1999.
Point for
Yes,
Mindy.
Lego Racers. Okay.
Yeah, well done, well done. So now Lego continues to remain a presence on PS1 with 3 more games released. Lego Rock Raiders in 1999, the educational Lego My Style Preschool in 2000, and Lego Island 2, The Brickster's Revenge in 2001. With the PS2 now finding its way into homes across the world, developers, attention to detail, pick up the reins, releasing the first Lego game for the console, Lego Racers 2, on the 27th of September 2001. The PS2 becomes a home for many Lego games, but which of these was not a Lego game released on the PS2? So which of these 4 was not a Lego game released on PS2? Island Extreme Stunts, Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, Lego Golf, or Soccer Mania?
Well, Island Extreme Stunts is definitely a Lego game since it's the 3rd Lego Island game.
Some of those sound fake.
Yeah, but Island Extreme Stunts is my favorite old Lego game, so that's definitely a
So
Lego
I
game.
agree. The Isle Extreme Stunts is a Lego
Hmm.
game. Soccer Mania sounds fake. Like, you would think it would be like Lego Soccer Mania. But what were the other ones?
So Island Extreme, Star Wars, Lego Star Wars 2, Lego Golf, or Soccer Mania?
I'm going to say either it's one of the sports ones, because Star Wars was definitely on PS2. No. Maybe it wasn't. Oh, I don't know now. I think it's one of the sports games, though.
Well, I'm gonna go with Lego Golf then.
So Zeta's going with Lego Golf. What would you like to lock in, Mindy?
If he's going with golf, I'll go with soccer.
Well, surprisingly, Soccer Mania was a Lego game on PS2. It is Lego Golf. There was no, and there still is no
Yay.
Lego Golf game. A travesty, I feel, but interesting. No,
that makes sense, but it still sounds like a fake game.
Very, very much so, yeah. So now, in an attempt to save the Lego company from a financial crisis in the 90s, a new line was introduced based on the Lego Technic series, aimed at 8 to 16-year-olds. It went on to become one of the biggest selling properties for Lego before being discontinued in 2010. Recently, it had a short-lived revival. I am, of course, referring to what? What product?
I know what you're talking about.
I'll just let Mindy answer this one.
You're talking about Bionicle, right?
The Bionicle, yes, Mindy. Very
Yes.
good, very good. So the first one of those dreadful looking things. The first Bionicle was released in 2000. The first Bionicle game was released in 2003 for Mac, Windows, GameCube, PS2, and Xbox, and was based on the movie Bionicle: Mask of Light. In 2006, the only other Bionicle game released for a PlayStation console. It was a third-person shooter developed by Traveler's Tales. What was the name of this only other Bionicle game released for PlayStation?
Bionicle Heroes.
Oh,
There.
very good. Now,
Heroes.
at this point, Zato, you're not using our good friend Google, are you? There's no Google in this.
No.
Good. Very
No.
good, very good. Mindy?
No, sorry, no. I did Google Lego Soccer because I didn't believe you.
Yes,
But
it's
no.
true, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so 2004 sees Sony enter the handheld market with the release of the PlayStation Portable, the PSP, on December 12th, 2004. However, it was not until 2006 that LEGO made an appearance on their handheld. Developed by Traveler's Tale and Amaze Entertainment, introducing adaptive difficulty in a game that was almost made in its entirety of Lego bricks. What is this first game, Lego game, for PSP?
Was it Lego Indy? Indiana Jones?
It has to be one of the first ones because Travel Tales had moved on to the Star Wars ones at that point. And
Yeah, it has to be one
Yeah.
of the early ones, and I know Indiana Jones was on
no,
there.
probably not Indiana Jones.
I don't know if Star Wars is
or-
on.
Or Batman. One of the first ones.
I'll say Indiana Jones as well.
It's actually, you're both incorrect here. Another tough one. It's actually Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy, was the first
Oh.
Lego game on PSP.
Okay.
In 2006. Interesting.
Oh.
The PSP goes on to provide a home for 8 LEGO games from 2006 to 2011. Not to be outdone, the PS3 goes on to accommodate 19 LEGO games over the course of its life. What was the last LEGO game released for the PS3?
Was there something after?
Uh,
Yeah. Or
Jurassic Park? Or unless you, when did Dimensions come out? I would say Jurassic Park.
well, it's Jurassic World, that one, but
Jurassic World.
yeah,
Or
but-
I can't remember if Marvel 2 got a PS3 release. I would say one of those two.
well, I bought them basically in order when they came, but I don't know. I changed to PlayStation 4 at some point, so
Yes, most of us
I
did.
don't know.
Some of us
Yeah.
haven't still, which is alarming, but most of us
Yeah.
have.
So I don't know.
Oh no! You know what? No, I want to change my answer because I know Force Awakens got a PS3 release. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
that.
I played that on PlayStation 3. That's for sure.
Very good, Mindy. And it was indeed Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. So in 2016 was the last Lego game released on the PS3.
Or PlayStation 3.
Oh, well, look, it gets better. So 2012 brings Lego games to the next generation of Sony's handheld with the release of an updated port of the PSP's Lego Harry Potter Years 5 to 7, which itself was an updated port from the DS version. After a string of lackluster ports to the Vita, including Lego Lord of the Rings and Lego Legend of... Now, is it Chima? Or how do you say that?
I think it's Kaima.
Kaima.
I could be wrong. I don't know the world, but I always said Kaima.
Yeah, I won't comment because I don't know either. I've played the games, but
No, I don't know.
no idea.
I don't know either. Yeah, so from the Nintendo DS. TT Fusion set out to produce an entirely different gaming experience for handhelds. In October 2013, they adopted a new strategy, releasing an isometric viewpoint game with short levels where many of the characters could not even jump, negating many of the platforming elements of the earlier games. So, Mindy and Zadorvp, 2013, a new strategy, isometric, many characters can't jump. What is this game?
It was one of the Marvel ones.
Yeah, the universe something. Marvel Universe. I don't know. That one. It's the one with Hawkeye shooting arrows at things, and that one. I don't know the name.
And it was awesome when you had Iron Man because that was basically your jump.
Yeah.
Was being able to fly.
Yes, that's very true. It was indeed Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril.
Well, see, that's nice. It got a nice subtitle as well.
It's got a lovely title. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So in 2014, a new age of Lego Vita game dawns. DS ports are dropped, hub worlds return, and a shift to the puzzle platform.
You're doing some deep cuts on these.
Yes, I did. So I did a lot of.
Like this is not like when we did this with Chris, where it was like 4 or 5 fun little trophy names. You're like, let's talk about history.
Yeah, I was
like
really
this.
hoping this was trophy names.
Well, I started out.
I'm sure he's got a couple of those.
I did start out with that idea, and then I realized like I didn't know a lot, so I found it fascinating reading. So it evolved. So listeners, if you're still with us, I hope you're learning because I learned quite a lot.
Yeah.
So
now, if this had been a quiz about Pokemon, I would have known more. Yeah.
We might, you know what? We might pull an edit. I might pull some random trophy names here and extend this quiz after CJ's done.
Yeah, definitely we can do that.
Because they have some fun trophy names in this series.
Yeah, no, definitely. So now, in 2014, a new age of Lego Vita game dawns. DS ports are dropped, hub worlds return, and a shift to the puzzle platformer genre of its origins is embraced. While not offering all the content of its console release, it was widely considered a strong return to form. Based on a major franchise from a series, what game am I referring to?
Batman. I don't know. Ninjago definitely had a hub world thing.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
didn't they have one Batman game as well? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I kind of want to say
Batman
Batman
too, I
as
don't
well.
Which Batman?
I want to say Batman 2 because that was the one. That was the one where you were swapping between the villains and the heroes, right?
I'm not sure. I have not played it. You're very close. Lego Batman 3. So
Ah,
there must have been
Yeah.
no hub world in 2, I suppose. Yeah. Interesting. In 2014. Now this one I found interesting. This is a more technical question here, so you'll have to broaden your scope. TT Fusion went on to make further successful Lego Vita entries, including Lego Jurassic Worlds and Lego Ninjago: Shadow of Ronin, which I actually played at both those games. I thought they were great. I assume you have done those.
Wonderful. Good job.
Yeah. 2016 saw the release of Lego Marvel's Avengers, a massive achievement for TT Fusion, bringing the open world of Manhattan to the Vita. Now, due to the constraints of the Vita, what effect was added to the hub world to reduce draw distance to increase stability in Lego Marvel?
I don't know, but it was terrible. That hub world made me angry, and I don't want to answer this question.
Oh, you just object to the question. Fine. Do you? What effect?
Oh, that was a painful guide to put together, and you're welcome, internet. I did a hub world collectibles guide for that, and it was painful. I'm sorry.
Well, maybe that's the answer. The collectible thing.
that increased stability by adding more of them. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah. More of them.
No, in fact, now this is interesting. I didn't know this, but it makes sense. They actually added fog to the Vita version, so that they didn't have to populate the distance in the thing. It's interesting. So I've never played that. It must have been.
All I know is you could be standing right next to a collectible, and you would have to stand there for a minute to see if it would draw in. Like whatever they tried to do, it didn't work.
No. Well, I think it was really pushing the power of the system or their knowledge of the system at that point. From 2012 until 2016, Lego games found mixed receptions on Sony's sad, underperforming, frail, forgotten, ugly stepchild, the Vita.
Shut up.
Before it was finally put out of its misery, how many Lego games were released on Vita, and what was the last game released?
Ooh.
Well, the last one is the one I haven't played, so whatever that one is. Force Awakens, I think. That's the one.
That's a great answer. It is Force
I
Awakens.
want to say roundabout Batman 3 was when they stopped doing Lego games on the Vita. Oh, no, because they did Jurassic World.
Yeah.
No, Zeta was correct.
Yeah,
Star Wars Force Awakens was
but they
the
did
last
do Jurassic
Lego
World.
Vita.
I like that Vita one. That was a good Vita game.
Oh, I totally didn't hear you say Force. I just heard you say it was the last one was whatever you hadn't played.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Which
thought
is
that was
Force
a joke.
Awakens.
Oh, no, sorry.
I was so bored of the console version of Force Awakens that I didn't want to start the Vita one.
I would say there was a fair amount. I would say 9 or 10 Vita games. They started around like Harry Potter, right? And time a Lego game came out, there was a Vita port. So I would say, 9 or 8 or 10.
Yeah.
8 or 9 or 10.
I really like the trophy icons for the Harry Potter one because they would like, and the requirements, the dueling stuff. I like that stuff.
The dueling was kind of fun. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So now let's move on.
What's the answer?
You're not gonna say the answer.
Oh, sorry, I didn't say the answer. I was just interested listening to you talk. I forgot. There were 11 games in total. 11.
Oh, were there? I was close.
Yeah.
I wish it had been an even 12. Oh well.
I mean, the Vita's not technically dead yet, is it, Mindy?
Well.
Why you gotta hurt me like this?
Well, maybe 12 will come.
It's definitely not getting a Lego game.
I don't think so. No,
like this at least.
I would tend to agree there with you. PlayStation 4 releases globally on the 15th of November 2013, and Lego is ready to join the party. Which Lego game by developer TT Games was a day one release?
No idea, since I didn't play a PlayStation 4 Lego until later. So, skip. Yeah, I'll skip this one.
On the PS4?
Day one release with the PS4. It came out on the 15th of November. So did this Lego game.
I don't.
For PlayStation.
I don't know. Lego Movie?
Not Lego Movie.
Hobbit? That was 2014, right?
Not Hobbit.
Then I don't know.
Lego Marvel Superheroes was a day one release for PlayStation.
Oh.
I didn't know that either. It came out.
This is around the time period where it was several Lego games in a year, and it just
It had
makes
come.
it harder to track.
Yeah, it had come out earlier on PC, but a month or two earlier. But for PlayStation, obviously, it couldn't come out till the PS4 did on the 15th of November. Now, in 2000, now a question for, well, I know at least, no, well, you must have played this as well, Mindy, because it wasn't in your list of ones you hadn't played. Well, generically, the question is, I suppose. In 2015, developer Traveler's Tales and publisher Warner Brothers Interactive opened the door to every parent's nightmare. It was time for Lego to roll out the ongoing cash cow that is Toys to Life. While entering
I've platinumed it twice.
Well, the answer is Dimensions anyway.
Yes, so
and Mindy
hang
talked
on, I
about
haven't
it already.
finished yet, Zeta.
So,
I've platinumed it twice.
so have I.
yeah.
I should say
You
I've
stacked it,
100%ed it twice. Boom.
Oh, you
Yeah.
Yes, I have not done that. So while entering a depressed market following the mass financial rape that Activision's beloved Skylanders had dealt a generation of young families, Lego Dimensions, which we said, still managed financial success. Lego Dimensions, across a combination of a staggering 60 character level packs, ingeniously spread across 9 waves over 2 years, ensured no parent was ever safe from the miniature menaces and their powers of financial drain. Lego Dimensions, though, was not the first Lego game that required a peripheral or peripherals. What was the first console game that did?
See, now I want to say Lego Rock Band, but I'm probably wrong.
Well, it depends on if we count that anyway.
There you go.
Is it Rock Band, CJ?
It is Rock Band. And how can you not count it? It has Lego in the name. How can that not be?
Well, the thing is,
It's a Rock Band game with Lego dudes in it.
Yeah.
I think it has to. It's Lego Rock Band. I think it's part of the series.
This is an invalid quiz.
You've drawn the line. I see. Have either of you, like, I've seen a bit of footage of it, but neither of you have ever played it? Is that correct?
No, I'll never play a Rock Band game.
Nope.
Yeah, it's kind of tough, isn't it, too? Like, even if you had the instruments, I believe there's one trophy in there that's very challenging. I forget exactly what it's for, but it's a very low percentage. But
well, we don't know.
We don't know. Okay, let's not.
Yeah, we haven't played it.
I have to wonder if this is my pet theory about Lego Dimensions. The reason, and I wonder if they knew this, if they were smart enough to do this, or if it was a cost thing. But like, I personally think the reason that Lego Dimensions was successful when Toys to Life was on its way out is because you have two sects of people here. You have the gamers and you have the Lego collectors.
Yeah.
So this is how I 100%ed Lego Dimensions. Well, how I 100%ed Lego Dimensions twice was I bought the base set, right? And then I bought 2 packs just because I like Back to the Future and I like Doctor Who. So I bought those packs. But I had a friend who collects Lego. So which I don't know how you can fund a Lego collection. Holy cow. Those are expensive. But but he's also a gamer, but he bought packs and you don't need the little figures. All you need are the little discs. So he just loaned me his discs. And then the ones I couldn't find, you go to like eBay or you go to like local swap fairs. Like there's a place here bi-monthly that's just a collector's show. So people bring toys and games and lots of Legos and whatnot. And you go in and that's, you can buy and swap stuff. And I would go to that and I go to eBay and you've got so many people who are like, all I cared about was the Lego. I'm going to sell the disc for half the price of the set. So you could save a lot of money that way. And I think that's why Lego Dimensions went on longer than I think it had any right to go on, basically. Was because the collectors were buying the Lego sets and then selling the discs off to the gamers.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, it was an ingenious thing. I think, like, I did partake in many of them. I didn't when we were researching this, listeners, I was going through all the different characters, and I'd say out of the 60, I probably have 55 of them. There's a couple. I mean, it's very difficult to find them now in Australia. I imagine because we don't have those sort of swap meets where they are here, but in the US there would be a lot more of them. So it's difficult. About 6 months ago, most of the stores that still carried them discounted them off like massively. So that was the time to get them. But they put some, like I'm looking at I remember the Lego Superwoman. This particular character, the only way you could get this, it was an exclusive character, was to sort of basically buy the game again. It packaged with the game. So they did do a lot of, for collectors, as you say, Mindy, they did do a lot of sort of traps, if you like, to get you into buying it. But I think at the time, or perhaps now, when that released to 100%, it probably was the most expensive Lego game, most expensive game to platinum. I think maybe with the exception of that bike game. I suppose that might have been more, but yeah, to buy all the packs you needed and the characters, if you didn't have them, it was not cheap. But
well, and to be fair, you could platinum the entire game with just the base.
Yes,
with just what you got in the base kit.
Yes.
Yeah, there are quite a few games that have DLC for PlayStation VR or PlayStation Vita, but you could count those as extra costs.
Yeah,
as well.
Definitely.
Like Little Big Planet and.
But I'm not 100% sure. I think there's like a Skylanders game that you can't platinum unless you've bought like a separate character. I could be wrong, but I feel like I heard that at some point.
Yeah.
Could be true.
That's one of the great things, as you say, Mindy, with the Dimensions is that you could plat the game with the 3 base characters. It became easier with more characters, but you could do that. And then a lot of the DLC packs, they had these hub worlds that for the trophy you only had to do one thing, but if you were going to try and 100% that world, you did need many characters often to do that. So yeah, look, it was a game that had a lot of content beyond the trophy list. If that did interest you, I think.
But then, and I think you probably stopped playing by the time they did this. They eventually patched in a feature where you could rent
yes,
specific characters.
Yes.
Like Gollum and Scooby-Doo and
right,
stuff.
and you could rent them with in-game studs. It's not like an in-game purchase.
No.
Or it's not like, a microtransaction.
It let you get a lot of things you couldn't get
right,
otherwise if you didn't have those characters.
And you could rent them for like 40 seconds in the game for however many studs.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. Look, I think it sounds like we all enjoyed that game though, to some degree. So look, moving towards the end of this rather laboured history quiz here, listeners. So after 24 years, 69 commercial video games, numerous developers and publishers, movie tie-ins, standalone experiences, and co-op adventures, a constant remains. Lego in all forms is a source of inspiration, motivation, joy, bonding, learning, and amazing the inner child in all of us. Lego represents fun, quality, and creativity. Lego makes us smile despite ourselves. Aww.
I'm waiting for the anticlimactic joke question here.
This is a sponsor message.
As we turn to 2020, Lego will be waiting for us. May the Lego be with you. Mindi and Zadorvp, what Lego game are we anticipating for release in 2020?
It's the Skywalker one. Old Star Wars.
Yeah, whatever that movie is.
But it's not just the movie, it's all Star Wars games. Well, movies.
Oh, is that the full pack?
It's gonna have all of them, but like remade or something. Yeah, that one.
Oh no, do I have to play Lego Star Wars 3 again? Because I don't wanna.
Well, I mean, they're probably remade in some way because it's gonna be too much otherwise, I think. I don't know.
What's it called? So it's not Rise of Skywalker. What's it called?
No, it's Skywalker something. Like
yes, you're right.
Skywalker.
Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
Oh, well, that's a boring name.
Oh, fair enough. It will be a massive game though, with all those games within it as well. So, prepare yourself there. So, look, that brings us to the end of the quiz. But I think I should ask you, Mindi and Zadorvp, maybe, and we can just do this quickly, your favorite Lego game. So, Zadorvp, out of all of them, what's your favorite or favorites?
Well, if we're not counting trophies, then it's Island Extreme Stunts, just because. And then if we are counting trophies, then it's Jurassic World.
Excellent. And Mindi?
Yeah, I don't know if I have one. I've said several times, your enjoyment of the Lego games is based on your enjoyment of the property it's based on. Having said that, I would say I really liked, and I kind of wish they'd remaster this, the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean game. I had a lot of fun with that, even though there were game-breaking glitches at the end of it. Shout out to my boy Indiana Jones, and the Harry Potter ones were fun. Jurassic World was pretty solid. Undercover, I kind of wish they'd do a little more with originals. Like, Undercover was a surprise. I wouldn't call it the best, but it was fairly fun. There was a lot of stuff in there. That was kind of when they really started with the Lego bloat, what I call the bloat, where they just throw stuff in there.
Yeah, that's the one I forgot earlier when I said one other game. Undercover. I haven't finished it.
Well, and it's easy to forget because it was a Switch exclusive for years, and then out of nowhere, they were like, "Hey, we're finally putting this on PS4." I pulled out just very quickly. I pulled out a couple of trophies. So here is the trophy quiz for CJ and Zadorvp. I just pulled out 3 trophies. I could have done a better job with this if I had more time.
Are you gonna give us clues, or do we just have to instantly guess?
You have to. Some of these, I think you'll be able to get just based on the trophy title, maybe.
Well, we'll see.
So a lot of Lego trophies will reference the movie or whatever that it is, that the Lego property is. My question is, if you heard the trophy name, I could sing this song for hours. What game do you think that trophy would be from?
Well, it's
Lego movie.
Yeah, Lego movie. Everybody's awesome.
You're correct. It is the Lego movie. Now, I would like to hear your rendition
That
of
song.
the
Was
song.
no. Everybody. No. It just doesn't stop the whole way through. The great thing is it's not so bad in 2, but in
the actual song is bad at the rap part, though, or whatever that part is, the actual full song, because they have that weird part in there.
What's the bit where, early on, where you're doing something, you're in the construction site, is it? And then all of a sudden everyone just stops and looks at you and starts dancing. It's just... It reminds me of that movie. I forget what it is, where they're all dancing. It's like a spoof movie or whatever. They're all dancing at a high school prom or something, and then the guy just turns around and looks at the camera and goes, "Who would have thought everybody at this school was a professional dancer?" Oh, it's dreadful. Sorry, Mindy, I sidetracked there, but it's so bad.
No, you're fine. So, I love puns. And the Lego games have quite a lot of punny trophies. This one, you might not get. Actually, you probably won't, so I'll go away from that. But if I were to read this trophy description, you tell me the punny trophy name that goes with it. So this is from Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4. The trophy description is hide in a barrel as Snape. What do you think the trophy name is?
Solid Snape.
It is. I love that trophy.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
I was gonna go with a Return to Dissendorf, but obviously Solid Snake makes more sense. Yeah.
No, well, Dissendorf was not a thing back when they made that game, so obviously.
Wow.
And then
if you played the Chinese version. Right?
And then finally, there were several games, Lego games featuring Batman. So the trophy, and I'm not going to read the description because it will spoil it. If I were to float the trophy, I've been Batmaning to you.
Goodness. What does it mean? Is that what you're asking?
Which game?
Oh.
No, I've been is the act of being Batman. I've been Batmaning.
Oh. I thought that was a euphemism for something else.
Which game? No.
Sorry.
It's a euphemism for being awesome.
Okay.
Which game would you say I've been Batmaning came from?
No idea.
Could be Dimensions. I don't know. I don't think it's a Is it probably not one of the Batman games? That would be too easy.
Well, Dimensions does have Batman. That's true.
Oh, see, I thought I'd trick you guys. It is from Lego Dimensions.
I mean, you tricked me.
I
didn't know.
The person who's played the least number of Lego games gets it right.
Because it's from the Lego Batman movie world. And they didn't do a Lego Batman movie game. They just made it an addition into...
I don't think I've even finished the Batman DLC. I have it.
Oh, the Batman was good.
Well, I don't think I've finished it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember that one. Yeah. Some of those packs were great, actually. Some not so good. But but some were great. What was it? There was one there that was the Puff Girls didn't get one, did they? But somebody did. Was it Jack and how do you say Jack and Finn or Finn and what's that one?
Finn and Jake.
Yeah, Finn. I didn't enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, some were great. Yeah, that's good. So look, listeners, that was fun. I hope you enjoyed that, Zeta and Mindy. That was quite interesting, educational and fun. But why don't we scoot quickly across to some spam of the week?
Can I just ask one question from Mindy? It's not a Lego question.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mindy, did you eat the Fatser chocolate yet? The Finnish one.
I did actually.
Yeah, you mentioned
I did.
in the previous one.
I when I bought it,
Yeah.
I sent a picture to Zadorvp, and I said, "Is this actually Finnish or is this BS marketing?"
It's real.
And it's real, right? But it's not something you can buy in Finland, right? Like it's made in Finland specifically
it's
for
American markets specifically, and they have 3 flavors, I think. You can get them here if you order from the Fatser Candy Store, which is an online shop, but you can't buy them in any shop like here. You just have to order only. And I want the raspberry one, but did you like that one? You had what was the bonfire or something?
It was like campfire coffee and
Campfire,
hazelnut.
that one. I'm thinking bonfires because those are a thing in Finland at least.
I don't know if I'd do it again. It wasn't bad, but if I had that and a couple other choices of chocolate, I probably wouldn't go for that.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little dark chocolate. I actually, what? I do want to ask one more Lego question here of both of you, because you've both played Dimensions, the majority of it. Which Dimensions expansion, let's say, or even just the main levels, would you like to see developed into an actual Lego game?
Ooh, I know which one I would like.
Well,
you go, Zadorvp.
So I'm gonna go through just to remind you here.
No, you don't need to.
we both know.
So I have 2 answers for this one.
Okay.
So Back to the Future, because the representation it has in the game itself is awful. It's bad there. It should have been much better. And then Doctor Who, because it works so well in that game. The Weeping Angels part and the flying with the TARDIS, that was a lot of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't like the Doctor Who. So
that's
much.
my answer.
Okay, interesting.
Well, shut up, DJ. Nobody has to. Oh, wait, Mindy did.
Easy, sir. These guests are getting more and more, throwing it back. It's fantastic. I would go, Mindy, with the was it the second wave of packs, if you like, the Mission Impossible one, because who does not want a Lego Tom Cruise? That is awesome.
I mean, I could take it or leave it. So does that answer your question?
Would take that as a Lego game.
I would like to have Simon Pegg again, though. He was good.
How about for you, Mindy? Which one?
I kind of got to go with Zadorvp here. Back to the Future. I just love Back to the Future. It would have been fun to see all 3 movies in a Lego game.
And you agree they were poorly done in this one, right?
Yeah, because I can't remember, but it was mostly
the main game part
building...
is just the time travel trains and stuff thrown at you, basically. It's not the movie at all. And then the level thing is one part of the movie, which is the
and it's not
tower.
even it's when you're in Doc's lab, right? And you have to build the stereo speaker.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's the clock tower thing. It's one part of the movie and it's expanded into a level. It's very poorly made.
And then I would also say Doctor Who, because not only do I like Doctor Who, I think there's a ton of stuff that you can draw on to make a good Lego game.
Yeah.
And you can even do it, an original story with that, because there's so much Doctor Who. You can just do, an original narrative with the characters. And because I'm obsessed with the idea of, if they ever do it, what I desperately want them to do in free play is, if you're playing as the Doctor and you die, you get respawned as a different Doctor.
Yeah, and this one had that.
Did they really? And I just never ever saw it?
Yeah. Once you complete the thing, you unlock the ability to respawn as the different Doctors, and they'll play voice clips from their episodes if they had voice. So,
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. But yeah, it was fun. I kept dying on purpose just to hear them. But they're randomly selected, At least I think they were randomly selected. They're not in number order, but as I've told you, I don't actually know Doctor Who that well. So, but I think they were randomly selected. Yeah.
Oh, I need to get a YouTube video of that now because I didn't know they'd done that.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me happy. Plus, they keep putting Doctor Who references in a whole bunch of Lego games. It makes you think that they're gonna do it.
Yeah, they've had Weeping Angel references, a
Mhm.
bunch of them.
And I'm just so bummed that they haven't done it.
There you go, listeners. How can you argue that Lego games are not for adults as well? They're for everybody. Everybody. You can hear the passion. You can hear the love.
I mean, I bought Lego games before they got trophies.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. No, they're fantastic. So, listeners, I was just looking through, and to be honest with you, there really hasn't been much spam announced since last week. So I think we're safe in. We already included a fair bit of it in the just the normal episode. So I think we can pass on that today, and we'll just quickly go to the.
Well, Mindi mentioned Mechanica earlier, right? That one technically is spam.
Oh yeah, that's a new release. Mechanica, that's probably going to be an easy one. There's a stack of Pantsu Hunter.
It's in the same world as Agatha Knife, which was last month. I don't know.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and it's actually the first game from that developer, but it's released later on console than Agatha Knife, even though it's their first game.
I didn't know that.
Well, now you do.
And I learned something today.
Oh, only that. I thought we've learned a lot of things.
And as Mindy said, the Pantsu Hunter, another stack. That'll be the Asian stack, completing this set. Yeah, look at that, Mindy. There's Will a Wonderful World there. That I feel something in the back of my mind about that game, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe in time.
I don't know. It's almost like I need to own a game to write a guide about it.
So let's shift over to the Push2Plat Platinum Club, and just a couple of quick shout outs. We have Gaz Davis 11, number 42, plat number 42, Tesla grad. We have Olcero, still on fire, plat number 569, Cat Quest 2, just as much fun as the first one. Excellent, sir. Afraid of the Folly, easily my proudest plat. Well, that's not surprising. You only have like 5 of them. The Become the Master trophy is no joke. Oh, so this is I was going to say Apex Legends, but that's not correct. This is Titanfall 2, Mindy. And he's referring to, there's a trophy in there, a speed run trophy. I don't know if either of you two have played this. That's kind of very challenging. I understand.
Oh, no, but I know that trophy. I've watched like YouTube videos of it because it's so infamous.
So congratulations, Folly. I imagine you probably knocked that out in your first or second go, but still that is a fantastic achievement. Well done. And then Olcero, another one, plat 571, Moan and Throwan, which we talked about last week, is a short, fun couch co-op spam game. The East Side. The Eastie is on fire again. Number 578, COD Modern Warfare, and he's also said that it's a decent story with no multiplayer. That's very good, very good. Oh, and he also got number 579, Ice Age Scrat's Nutty Adventure. Now, he seems to have had a problem with the game. I'm not sure what that is for, because I thought it was fine. But anyway, he still platted it. And Mindy, as we've said today, 539, the Dark Carnival. And myself, oh, that's right. We're not going to talk about that. So, listeners, don't forget, if you do get...
Wait a second. You skipped Resident Daryl.
Oh, did I? Sorry. Would you like to read his Zadorvp?
Double plat.
Sorry, I did.
178 and 179 Deep Space Rush.
Excellent. And as I always say, Daryl, it's great to be able to read a trophy list in English. It is so rare these days. So congratulations, the Radar Spam of the Week, Deep Rush. So if you are interested in getting your plats read, listeners, at the end of the shows, please feel free to post them and jump into the free community on the PlayStation for the Push2Plat Platinum Club. So, Zadorvp, as we approach the ending of a marathon episode, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. I hope it was somewhat enjoyable for you.
Yeah, but we didn't talk about Pokemon, so I was tricked into coming
here. Yeah, we'll have to book you again in 10 years, 20 years for the Pokemon episode. Maybe around the same time as the Metroidvania.
There's 2 new Pokemon games this month, so.
Look, I'm excited.
Yeah, and I'm sure when they come out on PS4, we'll talk about them.
So that's never.
That's right. When Nintendo buys Sony, that's right. That's our next meeting. Good. And Zadorvp, if people were trying to find you, I'm not sure if you'd like that. How could they do that?
I don't do the social media stuff. I have a Twitter account, but I don't use it. So just this name on PlayStation. That's it, basically. I don't really do forums anymore.
Probably your best bet is in that Platinum Club, right?
Yeah.
Because you're fairly
Yeah.
active on the Platinum Club.
Yeah, probably there.
Yeah. And we didn't really touch on it today, listeners, but Zadorvp does play a lot of JRPGs. He's very knowledgeable on that. Now, Mindi, where can we find you?
Twitter at The Mind is a City. If you want to support my guide writing, I do have a tip jar on Coffee, ko-fi.com/The Mind is a City. It's how I raise funds to buy games like Will It's a Wonderful World to write guides about, because I don't get dev codes, and that's sad.
And if you're trying to find the show, it is available on all good podcast providers. If you want to reach out to us and say hi or leave a comment or a concern, you can reach us at push2plat, push the number 2plat at Twitter, or you can email us at push2plat@gmail.com. If you feel like dropping in to the Discord, please feel free to do so. As I said, it is very relaxed and chilled. We have some lovely people in there, and the link for the Discord will be in the show notes. So I think that is enough. Join us next week, listeners, when we find out whether the Scottish nub will be playing Final Fantasy 12 or will Death Stranding get to a 90. Will Need for Speed get to an 80? That's the fingers crossed. Let's hope. We will find out. Otherwise, embrace yourself, because there's going to be a lot of cussing, a lot of abuse as I attempt to play a PS2 game on PS4. So with that in mind, I'd like to thank Zadorvp and Mindi very much. It's been very enjoyable. I hope you learned something about Lego games, and if we twisted your arm into playing one, by all means, please do. Jump into the Discord. Tell us what you like about them yourself. So until next week, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. Thanks, Mindi. Thanks, Zadorvp.
Bye.